to lock in and lean in and focus, because the window from April 11th to today has been an absolute blitz of record-shattering moments and tectonic shifts in the racing hierarchy. We've seen the dirt world crown its oldest winner and the asphalt world welcome its newest. And the technical gap between the elite programs and the rest of the field is starting to look like a canyon. I'm Russ Fritz. Okay, that didn't work too well. So I'm Russ Fritz, and that's Nathan Johns, and we're telling you to strap in tight because this isn't just racing, this is Switching Grooves. Now are you unmuted, Nate?
Yeah, I was a goober and accidentally muted myself instead of unmuting. One of those nights.
You you got an excuse, I guess. It's been a
It's
long week.
it's been a long week for us, yes.
But felt good. So
I'm still wringing out my clothes from all this rain.
we skipped last week. I just wasn't really feeling well and under the weather. There's a lot of stuff going around. So
Definitely have a lot to talk about though. Uh-oh. It wasn't me, I swear. I guess I got to add Russ back to the scene. There we go. Where'd you go, Russ? Uh-oh. We lost audio for a second. Russ is tinkering with this thing. But yeah, we missed quite a bit missing in last week's episode. Ty Gibbs finally breaks through and seemed to have battled through beating the best of the best. Welcome back, Jason. We're glad to see you joined us again. But yeah, it was definitely crazy to see Ty Gibbs finally break through. I mean, I hate to say it, I did pick him to win last week on my fantasy. So I was kind of proud that I pulled that one off. Oop, am I muted? Maybe not. Russ is just messing with the stuff. But yeah, it was definitely a wild race at the end. Ty Gibbs managed to hold off. What was it? Kyle Larson, and I forget who else he was battling. I think it was Tyler Reddick, but I don't remember now. But definitely a crazy battle towards the end.
so
Caution. Oh, he's back.
yeah, my bad. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Keep going.
um, I was trying to think who was battling. It was a whole week ago, so now I'm forgetting who was battling. But I mean, we went to Bristol last year for the playoff race, and I said to my wife that Ty Gibbs is going to win one of these races at Bristol. Definitely crazy to that it came back quickly afterwards, but you could tell with his performance last fall it was going to happen soon at Bristol. He's been lights out, ever since that race. His performance has really picked up, and I don't want to say that it was kind of in spite of the Chris Gabehart lawsuit, but you've definitely noticed a pickup in performance since last year to the beginning of this year up till this point. He's really stepped it up. I mean,
So let
craziness.
me back up here
Uh-oh.
before the connection went crazy on me.
Who knew?
And let's do this that way we're supposed to.
Okay. I didn't know if I was supposed to cover
No,
NASCAR
no, you're
first or what.
no, you're good. But Nathan, per the request of the Groove Nation, we're putting the mud on the tires first today. So
Okay. I was close.
we're going deep on the sprint car world, including the world of outlaws, high limit racing, and the All Star Circuit of Champions. Before we pivot to the NASCAR results from Bristol and Kansas, we've got plenty of ground to cover, so let's get into it.
All right.
So I got a Kofoid sweep and a Madsen history along with the Macri update. So we have to start with the World of Outlaws Federated Auto Parts Spring Classic at I 55 in Peevely. Um, that was a couple weeks ago, but Buddy Kofoid and Roth Motorsports have actually officially announced themselves as a primary threat to David Gravel's championship defense. Buddy was absolutely surgical on the high side and just dominated at the High Bank Bull Ring, sweeping both nights of the doubleheader. He spent both features methodically stalking the leaders before pouncing late, moving him up to fourth in the standings and cutting his deficit uh, to David Gravel down to just 82 points. But the most emotional story of the weekend actually happened at Tri State Speedway and Hopstad on Sunday. Nathan Tyler Courtney Sunshine is officially back, ripping the top lane,
Yay.
ripping the top lane in his home state of Indiana. Courtney snatched the lead from Sheldon Haudenschild and survived an intense late race barn burner with Buddy Kofoid to secure his first 410 win since that season-ending back injury last year. It was actually a statement win for Klaus and Marshall Racing and proved that Sunshine, as we know him, hasn't lost a bit of speed. Over at High Limit, it was actually a weekend of extreme highs and weather induced lows, and storms forced officials to postpone Friday's Hasty Baked Kansas City Clash at Lakeside Speedway, but Saturday at Lucas Oil Speedway for the Diamond Classic was pure magic. 55-year-old Kerry Madsen made history by becoming the oldest winner in High Limit Series history. The Madman led all 30 laps from the pole to earn $12,000 in prize money, and that comes in his 30th career start with High Limit Racing. He held off a hard charge from Cy Lynch and Tanner Holmes, and Tanner Thorson continues to lead those standings, excuse me, by 27 points over Aaron Reitzel. And I also have a medical update for you on Anthony Macri and Nathan. It's heavy. The diagnosis confirmed the compression fractures of his T4 and T5 vertebrae located in his upper back between the shoulder blades following that hard crash at Williams Grove. It's eerily similar to Tyler Courtney's injury from last year. And while Macri gave the thumbs up from the hospital, the concrete kid is actually sidelined indefinitely. His absence
That's
leaves a
crazy.
massive void in the PA posse's depth. And while the 39M team hasn't named a relief driver, the rumors linking 18-year-old Steven Snyder Jr. to a potential Spire Motorsports ride are only getting louder. So over in the NAPA All-Star Circuit of Champions, well, we've got the Republic Defense. The All-Star Circuit of Champions actually kicked off year number 2 under Rich Farmer with a thriller at Attica Raceway Park on April 11th. Cap Henry and the Jeff Ward Motorsports number 33W picked up right where they left off last year, cashing in at the Gates Corporation Victory Lane. Bryce Lucius looked headed for a dominant wire-to-wire win, but just a slight bobble in lap traffic on a very slick racetrack. I mean, this track was slick and black and it looked like glass. But he he bobbled just slightly in lap traffic with just 5 laps to go and opened the door for Cap Henry to slip by. Henry held on by just point zero 0.07 seconds, or of a second, I should say, in a drag race to the line. The series was supposed to head to Atomic Speedway, but unfortunately was rained out. And next they will move on over to Indiana. So Fremont Raceway Park. Oh, excuse me. I'll go back. I'll do Attica.
Got to
Because for
rewind.
yeah, well, I was going to do Fremont first, but there's nothing there. We'll get to that. But Attica Park Raceway Park actually held the AFCS season opener, and uh, Cale Thomas ended up winning that one. Now Thomas and Rudzik have officially just sent notice to the 410 sprint car teams in the region. Friday, Thomas dominated 30 lap feature at Attica, taking the lead from Brandon Spithaler on lap 6 and pulled away to victory. This win kicked off the All Pro Aluminum Cylinder Heads Kistler Racing Products Attica Fremont Sprint Series Championship Series in style, and with Parker Price Miller and Bryce Lucius rounding out the podium. That win puts Thomas squarely on the radar as the title threat for both the AFCS and the All Star Circuit of Champions Championship this year. At Fremont, well, the Diamond Anniversary opener was a rainout. The track that actually built is actually celebrating its 75th anniversary, but Mother Nature had other plans for the Remembering the 50s opener on April 18th. The event was rained out, but the excitement for the decade's theme is still high in the pits. Promoter Rich Farmer actually noted that the track is working closely with all other 410 weekly facilities to ensure maximum participation for the Diamond Anniversary celebration. Now we move on to NASCAR. We'll start with the trucks.
Oh. Before you jump into
Zilich,
fully NASCAR, I gotta give a shout out to Jason. I like this idea for in our future. That's a great idea. I happened to see that pop up, and that got me a little excited because we always have opinions, and I feel like that segment would be very, very lively. I had to give that shout out before I forgot. That definitely seems like something that would be very animated, and I feel like that'd be a lot of fun.
thing is, you have to make sure that there's not another show that has a segment like that because you can get in trouble for copyright.
Do we have another show that says that? Because if not, we got to come up with that
Well,
before
there's a
anybody else
show out there
does.
called Shifting Gears, so
What grinds my gears is,
that's
all
what I'm
the
saying.
trash
There's
talk between Michael Jordan and Denny Hamlin, but we'll get to that later.
oh, NASCAR O'Reilly and trucks, Zilich, Gray, and Heim time. Nathan shifted to the asphalt. The support series have been delivering overtime thrillers. At Bristol on April 11th, Connor Zilich finally found his way back to victory lane. A bold call by crew chief Rodney Childers to stay out on older tires allowed Zilich to hold off Kyle Larson, who actually led a staggering 230 laps for the win. Uh, Justin Allgaier also collected his eighth career $100,000 to win Dash for Cash bonus that night. And then this past Saturday in Kansas, Taylor Gray used a perfect short pit strategy to clear the field during the final green flag run, and Gray pitted first among the leaders and held off a hard charging Sheldon Creed by just 0.718 seconds to score his second career win. Creed didn't leave empty handed, though, and he finally cashed in on his first $100,000 Dash for Cash bonus in his fifth attempt. So, not doing too bad for themselves money wise,
Have
but
we covered the trucks yet? I forgot. I think we
get,
missed a week.
getting there. In the trucks, the Bristol race was on April 10th, and that set a record with 7 full-time Cup drivers in the field. But they all had to watch the back of Corey Heim's Tundra. Heim took the checkered flag for his third straight win, sharing the points lead with Caden Honeycutt as they leave the trip behind. So, what do you
What
think
was
about
the
the?
what was the one? I didn't think Corey Haim won. I thought somebody else won that race because he got cleaned out for the triple truck challenge. I thought Haim got cleaned out. What is it? I didn't hear a word you said.
Shit, so I could be wrong.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, Heim got cleaned out by Caden Honeycutt. But I gotta go back and look at that because I thought that was won by somebody else. Gotta go back and find it now. Maybe I'm wrong. Bristol. No, Christopher Bell won at Bristol.
But did he?
Christopher Bell won at Bristol because Heim was a few laps away from the Triple Truck Challenge, and I believe it was Christian Eckes took him out. Yeah, Christopher Bell won the truck race. And he got, because Corey Heim was leading and he was battling really hard in Christian Eckes, and Christian Eckes misjudged the gap and actually right reared Corey Heim and put him in the outside wall really hard. It actually took out Corey Heim, Caden Honeycutt, and Zane Smith. Or not Zane Smith. Who is the guy in the 38? I can't remember the guy in the 38 car now. I think it is. Who is the?
So I just kind of threw it in there. I thought they rolled it his winner.
Blaine Riggs. No, that was one of the more wilder races. That what are you doing? I thought that was my segment.
My bad.
You're good. That was honestly, I was very surprised with how racy that race was. I mean, Kyle Busch was leading and then it just evaporated. We thought for sure he was going to win, and then it just dropped off. But I do got to give a shout out, kind of a collision of worlds. I know it's not sprint cars, but Carson Ferguson made his debut at Bristol in the 25 truck, ended up finishing 21st, which was on the lead lap. Last truck on the lead lap in his debut was quite impressive, in my opinion. I thought that was really cool to see.
So
but
I put the wrong. I cut and pasted the wrong clip of my notes into my.
You're good. Yeah, there was no truck race this weekend, so I was so confused.
That's what happened there. I cut and pasted
I was so confused
because I type everything up in Microsoft, and then I have to paste it into my my teleprompter. So
I don't remember if we ever covered the Rockingham race, but we'll if we missed that, we missed that one. But yeah, Bristol was good to Connor Zilic. He came back to the series he was so good at and ended up winning. He ended up beating Kyle Larson and Brent Cruz, which Brent Cruz had a pretty good race, I will say. Finished third, beat Justin Allgaier and Carson Kvapil in the top 5. I don't know where you got Sheldon Creed from, because Sheldon Creed, that might have been for Kansas. Maybe that's what I missed.
Yeah, I took that whole section.
Oh, yeah, Sheldon Creed finished second there, yeah. Yeah, Taylor Gray did win Kansas. Sheldon Creed did finish, Taylor Gray won. Sheldon Creed finished second. I do need to talk about the lap 2 incident with Carson Kvapil. That has to be the first time I have ever seen a car take off like that at Kansas. To set the scene for you, I think it was Corey Day got a massive launch on the first lap. I think he started outside front row and just absolutely, I think he started outside second row and just blew by Carson Kvapil and just was long gone by the time they got to turn 2. So they did finish the lap. Justin Allgaier actually ended up getting into Carson Kvapil, and Carson Kvapil ended up going backwards and getting hit by Parker Retzloff, which I will say that was a beautiful car Parker Retzloff had. But when he hit Carson, it just picked the back end of the car right up in the air, and Carson ended up barrel rolling down the backstretch at Kansas. That has to be the first time I've ever seen a car roll like that at Kansas. They were flying, but I don't know if I've ever seen a car pick up off the ground the way that O'Reilly car did. I mean, I've never seen the O'Reilly cars pick up like that ever. I think the last time I saw that was when Sam Mayer flipped over, in 2024 at Daytona, and they're not even going that fast at Kansas. So that was a wild crash. But glad to see Carson got out of the car. It looked all right. Definitely a crazy, crazy start to the race that did kind of tame down throughout the race. It was really good, like really crazy at the beginning. You had teammates getting into each other. You had Jesse Love and Austin Hill getting together. Austin Hill, I forget who he got hit by, but he just got drilled and it pushed the whole rear end out of the car. So if his race was done very early. But the Xfinity races seem to be putting on a good show in the truck races, but then, the Cup races are just a snooze. I think the biggest highlight we had from the Kansas race for the Cup Series was, or did we cover Bristol? I don't remember if we covered Bristol. Oh yeah, we did. We kind of covered Bristol earlier. It was Kyle Larson and Ryan Blaney battling for second place behind the eventual winner, Ty Gibbs. And I will say it was definitely cool to see. Yeah, Alex Bowman did have a better race at Kansas. I'll get to that one in a second. Yeah, last week was Alex Bowman's return, and it would probably went about as bad as you could get. First car out of the race, I mean, he finished behind Chad Fincham, who is like as part-time as you can get part-time. So definitely not a good race for Alex Bowman, first race back from injury. I mean, really, there was not a whole lot going on in the Hendrick camp. I mean, you got William Byron finishing 30th, 5 laps down, just dismal race there. But yeah, Ty Gibbs didn't have the fastest lap. Ryan Blaney did. But the effect that the new tires had at Bristol was absolutely insane. I think coming to the final restart and coming to the final caution, and they went down pit road. I think Ryan Blaney and Kyle Larson were like 6th and 7th in line, and they blew by everybody. In that last overtime restart. It was just wild. But just to cap off your top 10 for Bristol, you had Ty Gibbs, Ryan Blaney, Kyle Larson, Tyler Reddick, Chase Briscoe, Todd Gilliland with a top 10 finish in 6th is quite impressive. Then you had Joey Logano, Ryan Preece, and Denny Hamlin. So definitely some interesting names in that top 10. Oh, Carson Hocevar was 10th. That's right. I missed that one. Definitely a very interesting race. Glad to see Ryan Preece get a top 10. The streak still stands that there are 3 drivers that have finished on the lead lap at every race this year. Ryan Preece, Brad Keselowski, and Tyler Reddick. And I don't think that ever changed for this week. I think all of them still finished on the lead lap, which was crazy. I was looking to see where Ryan Preece finished. I think he finished on the lead lap also. Yes, they all finished on the lead laps. There is only 3 drivers currently who have finished on the lead lap at every single race this year, which Tyler Reddick has won a ton of them. But
going back to Bristol though, real quick.
Go ahead.
I've been sitting in the back listening, but Ty Gibbs held off Ryan Blaney in that overtime thriller, and that
without taking new tires, mind you. That was crazy.
I was getting at Gibbs was on tires that were nearly 100 laps old, and that is phenomenal to do that at Bristol of all places. But he used the high lane to keep his momentum and actually beat Blaney by just what?
And it was a pretty close finish. Let me look and see, because I don't remember exactly.
0.055 seconds.
Yes, 55 thousandths of a second, it says. Which on track, it did not seem like it was that far apart. It seemed way closer than that. But they knew it was him at the track, but it did not seem like it based on the television. It was definitely crazier. I get a feel for Ryan Blaney. He has been his pit crew has absolutely just killed his team this year. He is not getting the performance that he is due with how his pit crew is performing. Every pit stop they have done, he has lost spots. Has yet to gain a spot all year. I think they said he lost 80 positions this year already. And we're 10 races in, I think.
Kyle Larson swept the stages and led 284 laps at Bristol, but his winless streak actually reached 32 races.
Over a
Uh,
year now, yes.
and that's crazy. So that's all I got about Bristol, but sorry.
I do have to I gotta agree with Jason here. He did everything in his power not to wreck Ty Gibbs. I mean, he ran him as clean as you could without just cleaning each other out. And I mean, you can't even say that for this week's race at Kansas. This week's Kansas, the leaders just beat the brakes off each other, for the win, which we'll get
Overcame
there.
Reddick overcame fuel sputter issues and actually scraped the wall to pass Kyle Larson on the very last lap for the win.
Well, it wasn't even, I think it was Tyler was leading, Denny passed him, and then the infamous Cody Ware decided he just, first caution of the race is going to come into the white flag. And it just happens to be Cody Ware just randomly spinning right in front of the leaders as they're coming to the white flag. Like, you almost can't script how unlucky Denny Hamlin is when it comes to that, which, to be fair, I heard a report today off Actions Detrimental, and I do feel like it was, it was karma coming full circle. But we'll get to that. But yeah, there was relatively quiet race for that entire race. There was not a lot of cautions, not a lot of crashes. Ryan Blaney and pit road was, one of the many topics as it's been for 8 weeks now, 9 weeks now. Coming full speed out of his pits, clobbers AJ Allmendinger, damages the splitter. Basically, that put an end to their chances to win the race. So that was the the Ryan Blaney highlight of the race. Is another pit road issue.
This
But
was this was Reddick's fifth victory in 9 races. A
which is
milestone.
insane.
Yeah, this milestone actually puts him in the same breath as Dale Earnhardt and Bill Elliott.
Yes, it hasn't been done since I think they said 1993 was the last time that was done. Was when 5 races out of the first 9, I think, was the championship year for senior, which is absolutely insane that you can, use Tyler Reddick and the Intimidator in the same sentence with the same, statistics. But it's wild to think that, but it is true now. It's crazy. But we'll set the scene for you for this final dash to the finish. Not Ryan Blaney. I'm getting names mixed up now. Tyler Reddick, and Denny Hamlin are duking it out for the win. And right as they're, getting to lap traffic, Tyler Reddick comes over the radio and says he's out of gas as he's getting into the wall. And it just absolutely kills his momentum. Denny Hamlin goes blowing by him, but somehow Tyler Reddick gets the reserve switch on and is able to keep Denny Hamlin within striking distance. And I believe that was coming to like 4 or 5 to go, I think it was. And as they come off of turn 4 or coming out of turn 3, coming to the white flag, Cody Ware ends up spinning out, causing a overtime restart with, I believe it was Denny Hamlin to the inside, Tyler Reddick to the outside, and Kyle Larson starting inside second row, Christopher Bell starting outside second row. Now, those positions will come into play here shortly. On the ensuing restart, Kyle Larson gets a great jump, ends up going to the inside of both them, and Christopher Bell ends up going to the outside. And as they come off turn 4, Tyler Reddick and Denny Hamlin make a little bit of contact, which pushes Tyler Reddick up into Christopher Bell, putting him in the wall and basically breaking the toe link. So he wobbles the entire way down the back stretch. And as he gets to the front stretch, yeah, Cody, I like that one. That's a good name for him. I mean, the hack part is still Denny, but I do like that name. But as they come off turn 4, Christopher Bell ends up spinning, manages to get the car back going again and continue on. But that then put Tyler Reddick and Kyle Larson door to door going down the front stretch, and going into turn 1. Tyler Reddick gets down far enough below Kyle Larson to end up clearing them going down the backstretch, and Kyle Larson just couldn't make a charge to do anything with Tyler Reddick. So Tyler Reddick comes off turn 4, wins his 5th race in the first 9 races of the year, which is an insane feat. He's making it look easy. I'm not a big 2311 fan, but he's making this look like he's racing the Truck Series with a Cup Series driver. It's insane. He looks unstoppable right now.
We also have to mention that Alex Bowman has returned while he was
Yes.
while he was back in the number 48. A lap 163 wreck at Bristol actually ended his return a little early. So unfortunate for him, but glad to see him back. Glad to see him doing better. And also, Nathan, I actually have some big news from today. Daniel Dye has been reinstated by NASCAR, re-signed from Colleague Racing, and resigned. I don't know why I said resigned. Resigned from Colleague Racing, which we already knew, and actually signed a 4-race deal with Live Fast Motorsports to drive the number 78 Chevrolet,
which starts this week.
Yeah, starting this week at Talladega.
This is one of those what grinds our gears moments for me. I do not think that this is kind of a loophole in the system. And I wrote this on Facebook earlier. So you run mid-pack at ARCA, or you run good in ARCA. He is pretty decent at ARCA. Runs mid-pack in the Truck Series, ends up losing his ride over, remarks made all over social media, which is over the Whatnot app thing. So loses his ride over that, gets basically reinstated, and immediately jumps up to the Cup Series. Now, doesn't this seem somewhat like the same tale that Kyle Larson went through, but at least he was winning races in other series? But this almost reminds me of the whole situation that we're going through with Cletus McFarland. He's, runs great in ARCA, is terrible in Truck Series, completely skips the Xfinity or O'Reilly Auto Parts Series, and next thing we know, Cletus will be running Cup. I mean, Cletus just announced that he'll be running at Nashville here in a few weeks in the O'Reilly car. But, what performance do you have other than the ARCA Series to show that you are worthy of the Cup Series? I can't even wrap my head around the fact that they brought him on part-time in a Cup Series ride. That's like sending, Cletus, who can't do jack squat in the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series, to the Cup Series for a part-time schedule with, Hendrick Motorsports. Come on. Even though it's a terrible, it's really not a great performing team, Live Fast Motorsports still was running up front at Talladega. Daniel Dye has no business being up front. He can barely keep it on track in the Truck Series, and I really haven't seen him do a whole lot in the O'Reilly Series. I feel like it's a huge mistake letting him jump in a Cup Series car after all this. It almost sends the wrong message to people out there who prospective racers. It's okay. You can lose your ride with one big team and still get to ride in the Cup Series with a lesser team. That doesn't make any sense to me. The punishment was indefinitely suspended, and they immediately sign him so he can go run a Cup Series race at a track that really is just going to end up getting him hurt because he is that little. I don't think he has any experience in the Cup Series at all. It's a little concerning. I do like the whole Yeah, the Catherine Legg thing I can understand. She really doesn't have a whole lot of experience either in the Cup Series, but she does have sports car experience, and that one I can understand a little bit. With her driving like the sports cars, the shifting in those are about the same. Daniel Dye has no experience with this transmission whatsoever. So probably what we'll end up getting is we'll end up getting him going out there and missing a gear and wadding up the field, and we'll have the big one before we even get to the start finish line. I can differentiate between Catherine Legg and Daniel Dye. She at least has some racing resume. Daniel Dye is still young and really does not have that extensive of a resume. I mean, his major sponsor is his own charity. It's not like he's getting a whole lot of sponsors. I mean, when he was a Colic, he had a lot of sponsors. But, other than his own charity, there's not much really there to back him. And it's a little concerning. Honestly, that is what I'm very concerned about, is the Kevin LePaging the field. I will 100% agree with that one. Is I'm very concerned that someone is going to get hurt due to his lack of experience. But there was something else. Oh, Denny Hamlin and Kyle Busch. The whole statements that Kyle was mad at Denny for calling him out over his performance at RCR. I've seen both sides of, I've heard both sides of the story, and I hate agreeing with Denny, but he's kind of calling it like it is. It's not that it's Kyle Busch's fault. RCR just sucks. Just absolutely dismal. I mean, at one point, Austin Dillon was holding up Tyler Reddick from being, as a lap down car. Like, it's pretty bad when you're just holding up the field like that. I don't even know what to think of it. I mean, it's very frustrating. It definitely grinds my gears. I just don't know. I was trying to think what other news I had from this week. There was a few topics I did want to cover. I got to go back and see what I could find. For those who haven't seen yet, they also shortened the Talladega stage lengths. Honestly, I think stages just need to go away altogether. But they cut the stages down to try to get rid of, fuel savings. So they're going to make a longer first stage and two shorter later stage. The second and third stage will be shorter. So basically, they're just going to flip the race so all the fuel savings not at the end. It's now at the beginning. So now you can miss the first third of the race and not miss anything, which honestly sounds like just another Talladega to me. Just fuel saving for the first third of the race and then actually go. No matter the stage lengths, it's still going to be a rough and kind of boring race, in my opinion. I'm a little disappointed that they didn't just change it up so we don't have to worry about fuel saving. But yeah. I was trying to read what else it says. Yeah, Denny Hamlin not Denny Hamlin. Kyle Busch does have at least 2 championships, unlike Denny. That is a very accurate statement. And I still, I still heckle Denny over it, and I could care less. Denny still sucks. I mean, that's just the way I am. Someday it'll be nice to. Someday, hopefully, we'll have Jason on the show because I'd love to have some more opinions on this stuff. It makes me laugh.
This week.
What happened?
I was actually going to bring him on this week's show, but we kind of threw this one together last minute. So I was planning on doing it like Tuesday or Thursday, but you have to work. So we kind of had to put it together tonight kind of quickly. So
we might be able to get one for next week. I know that I start work this week. So maybe once the schedule gets figured out, I can determine what it's going to be for next week. I was trying to see if there was any other highlights I wanted to cover from this past one. I know that the start season around here starts this week. Not Denny Ham. Lernerville is this coming Friday. I know some other tracks they're trying to get their seasons already started. I I do have to mention the ARCA race, and I've noticed this kind of lately that when Cletus is running good in the ARCA series, he tends to blow a lot of motors. I mean, I think it's what the second motor he's blown in the last 5 races he's run. I mean, he did pretty good at Rockingham, but I forget where he was before he blew the motor up. I think it was Daytona he blew the motor up, and he blew another motor up here at Kansas this past weekend. So definitely very disappointing. I don't even know when drag season starts here. I haven't really paid attention to drag racing season. I don't pay a lot of attention to that. Someday I will. I got nothing, Russ. There we go. I heard something finally.
Drag fan. I'm not a drag racing fan at all.
I never paid attention to it. I don't. We saw one day at work we had a Top Fuel dragster go by, like on the hauler go by, but that's the extent of my drag racing stuff. Like I don't really watch a whole lot of it. I was trying to see if there was anything else I missed. I am looking forward to Talladega. I mean, I'm hoping it's a good race with stage changings, but I know that I am really looking forward to June. That'll be the Switchin Grooves goes to the West Coast weekend. I'm very excited about that. I'm hoping to do an on-site episode for the San Diego race. I'm excited to go out and see what that's going to be like. Unfortunately, it'll be a remote report for Russ.
Make it there. Sorry.
I'll have to do an on-site episode, and Russ can do his from his studio.
That's how it works sometimes.
We'll figure it out, though. I'm excited. I've never been to the West Coast, so I'm excited to go out there and see it. Unfortunately, Sonoma is too far away for me to see it, and also we're only going to be there for 5 days, and I didn't have enough to save up for a hotel to drive up to Sonoma for that race. But that would have been cool to see both tracks in one weekend. But
You cover it all, Nate?
I think I've covered everything.
Well, we'll keep this one short tonight, then move on to next week. So, but Nathan, the next 10 days, mark your calendar because the schedule is absolutely loaded. So we've got the NASCAR triple header at Talladega Super Speedway kicking off this Friday. The Ag Pro 300 is Saturday at 4 p.m., followed by the Jack Links 500 on Sunday at 3 p.m. High Limit Racing, actually, the midweek series returns tomorrow night, April 21st at Eagle Raceway, and that will actually be broadcast on FS1 at 9 p.m. It won't be the whole thing, but it'll be the mains, and I believe the dash. I believe they start with the B main. And then they will actually hit Arrowhead Speedway on the 28th and Texas Motor Speedway for the Stockyard Stampede on April 30th. The World of Outlaws actually travels to the sprint car capital of the world, Knoxville Raceway. And that's a massive 2-night clash starting this Friday and Saturday, the 24th and 25th. The All-Star Circuit of Champions will, after Cap Henry's opener with a huge win at Attica, the series actually takes a brief breather before a big double header, I believe, at Kokomo Speedway on May 8th and 9th. Attica Raceway Park, their weekly action returns this Friday, and hopefully Fremont can get in there, remembering the 60s. See, because last week was the 50s, then they do the 60s, then they do the 70s. So hopefully they can get that in this Saturday, remembering the 60s. But
and I know this Friday, Lernerville's opening season opener is this Friday. Also, I believe gates open at 5:30 and hot laps start at gates at 5:30. Heat and motors at 6. Hot laps start at 7:30, I believe.
Conclusion.
Good, sorry.
My conclusion is the strategic implications of the April stretch. The current competitive landscape has established a definitive hierarchy defined by organizational depth and strategic risk. The historic dominance displayed by the current points leaders in the Cup Series, paired with the breakthrough victories of a new generation of short track stars, signals a season where technical parity is being overridden by clinical execution. In the dirt world, the successful launch of a regional series and the milestone achievements of veteran racers actually indicates that experience remains a formidable defense against a surging rookie class. As the circuit moves toward the high speed vitality of the super speedways in NASCAR and the precision required at the national dirt cathedrals, the primary challenge remains whether the rest of the field can actually find a technical answer to the overwhelming momentum of the current frontrunners. So that's what I've got. Not sure if you have anything to add.
I don't really got anything to add. Also, I'm excited for race season, actual race season, to start locally.
Well, with that said, remember we bring you race recaps, professional breakdowns, and all those insane adrenaline packed moments every week. Whether you live for those slideways, mudslinging, dirt track sliders, or the door banging, paint trading action of NASCAR, you belong here. Hit that subscribe button now so you never miss a finish. And until next time, keep switching grooves. I'm Russ Fritz,
And I'm Nathan Johns.
and we're saying race hard,
Stay safe.
and we'll see you there. Good night.
Good night, everybody.